All right, doctors, let's have a little chat. A little chat on stop making your life unnecessarily difficult intervention. Because some of you, and you know who you are suffering from a dangerous condition called cardiology. That's right. You've mastered the fine art of making things way harder than they need to be. In this video, I want you to stop being this hardholic and become an easyologist. I'm not saying be lazy, there's no merit in that. You want a thriving practice. You want more time. You want to make more money. But instead of taking the direct flight to Successville, you're out here building your own airplane from scratch. Newsflash, it already exists. And I know this because I built the dang thing for you. What's super interesting to me is that many of us have been stuck, including me. It felt like nothing I worked on worked. Many of you know I've been running my practice for 30 years now, and through the years being stuck, working on systems that made me grinding so tough, but it was never enough. It felt like nothing I was working on was working. I was good at clinical, I ignored the financials because after all, well, my accountant handles that. I was horrible at knowing what, for example, my chair cost was, yet alone caring why that's an important number. I would get hit with little surprises like an unexpected tax bill of $2,300, a broken down OCT scan $4,000, etc. Until I started seeing huge numbers deposited by my efforts in 22 days, but at the end of the month there was nothing left in terms of profit. Yet I was getting my dividends from my investments. I was investing in other companies, attaining return rates of anywhere from 7 to 17%. But the company I owned was paying me very well as a doctor, but had very little profit, 0 to 3%. What's the lesson in that? Well, it's several, isn't it? If other companies are able to bring about an annuity of 10% each month to me, along with thousands of other investors consistently, and my company was not able to produce a fraction of that for its only shareholder, me, then I was doing something terribly wrong, right? I would have fired myself as the CEO. If I were the head coach of a losing team, I would have fired myself. Instead, because my area of genius was in clinical care, I brought in other successful people in their areas of genius that drove my business functions. I identified what every business's foundation areas of functions were. There are 5 areas of business functions that we constantly have to tweak, nurture, and adjust, folks. So experts in human capital to learn the best ways to motivate the team to produce like I produce. I hear from consulting gurus, coaches all the time, they say staff is the biggest expense of any business. Well, it's the biggest investment of any business is what learned and advocate that churns out the biggest financial output. So I develop systems that creates team members, engaged, intentional, and motivated people, not just employees. I invested in marketing systems that were automated with high returns. I developed the clinical space and equipment, the physical space and instruments to provide special services. No more emotional decisions, guys. I knew now what the LipiFlow cost, stopped financing and leasing, and made sure the instrument or the remodel didn't just look good, but produced. Even that new frame line is analyzed this way. And currently I am working on clinical duplication. The point is, guys, I course corrected, but I didn't reinvent the wheel. There are systems already invented, tested, tried, and working. Just plug and play and see results. Great results. I invested in courses, coaches, and systems that were already developed. Time is the only asset we can never get back. Why would I spend all this time trying to learn something when somebody else already developed, mastered, and proven to work? In this area of my life, I was being paid very well as doctor, but the company I worked for, the company I owned, was not making money for itself, if that makes sense. Your practice must pay you fair compensation as a doctor, but should also be paying you as a CEO, business owner, and stockholder. If it's not, your practice is screaming something is terribly wrong. Fast forward to now, well, now I work when I want to work, and my practice is constantly providing a profit or annuity, if you will, by intentional design. I study the numbers to ensure the business is churning a profit. I had to learn financial competency to get out of all debt, personal and business. Now, I don't wait for a private equity company to tell me what my business is worth. I tell them what the value of my business is by proof of knowledge of my own numbers. I don't blindly write out bonus checks to the staff. Rather, the checks are a derivative of what we designed to ensure the clinic has a substantial profit before we share. I have automated systems in place to market our services and products. It's all intentional. It's all easy, takes very little time, and most of it is delegated. That's the elf way. Listen, I get it. We're doctors. We like to overanalyze. We think if we didn't personally create a system from the ground up, it can't possibly work for our practice. But let me hit you with some logic. Do you make your own ophthalmoscope? Your own phoropter? No? Then why are you trying to DIY a business strategy when there's a proven framework right here, waiting for you to use? Why are you making it so hard? It's something one of my mentors calls hardiology, the fine art of making things harder than they need to be. And let's be real, too many doctors are victims of it. You might be frustrated thinking opportunities are shrinking in our profession, in our field, when in fact, you're really frustrated because you are not taking advantages of the opportunities that currently exist in front of you. Some of you are out here grinding, reading 27 business books, watching YouTube videos at 2 a.m., trying to crack the code, when the code has already been cracked. Coaching gives you the exact systems that work without the wasted time, sleepless nights, and midlife practice crises. Some of you feel the pain of running your business, but like I was saying before, it's just not painful enough. So you stay complacent, maybe mild frustrated. Imagine if, let's say, there was an increase in optical sales and profits of about $2,000 a month. And maybe with greater efficiency, we can see 2 more patients a day without overtime or stress schedule, another $10,000 a month there. How about we trim up the cost of goods, staff production per hour increases? Well, right there, we've added over $200,000 to your practice. It's not easy, but it is simple. And what did that cost? Maybe a few $1,000s from a fiduciary standpoint and some Sunday mornings learning. To make $200,000? I mean, there is no investment in crypto or Tesla or mutual funds that would ever pay that. Guys, that's $1 million in 5 years. Do you see what I'm saying? You got into this field to help people, not to become a business genius overnight. But here's the truth. Your clinical skills will only take you so far. If you don't start thinking like a business owner, you'll stay on the hamster wheel, grinding away while others, who are no smarter than you, pull ahead. So let's fix that. In my last video, we talked about financial metrics. A great free workup was given to you to get you started. If you need to watch that again, I'll place the link below. Start with your metrics. I'm not poking at you, but to make things happen, change will have to happen. There's pain in change until the benefits of that change appear. Here's the deal. You've got 2 options. 1, keep doing what you're doing, reinventing the wheel and working way harder than necessary. Or 2, work smarter, adopt a system that's been battle-tested, and finally start seeing real results. One of these options makes you money. The other makes you tired. Your call. You see, I learned early that I'm going to become good at business, then there will be pain while I learn the process. Okay, I'm willing to go through pain, the benefits will eventually appear. Well, they are apparently here. Because I eventually got good enough to enjoy the business, the clinic, and not stress over the other minutia. In fact, I'm so good I can now teach others. As we move into the middle of finishing the first quarter of your greatest year ever, I urge you to take just one thing in your practice and be intentional to change it for higher efficiencies, greater margins, and just simply better, guys. Will it be in the area of human capital? Perhaps a new improved incentive plan that have your team think, work, and act like owners making $500 or even $1,000 more a month. Would that help team retention and engagement? Will the one thing you commit to change be financial? Will you study what your chair cost is, what a new patient value is? Or what is your return on investment in the marketing you do for your practice? Oh man, I'm going to get sidetracked here. But if you were to know exactly what % of new patients were coming from Google search versus what patient were coming in from the church bulletin, would it not make more sense then to skew the percentage of investment in the platform, bringing in the most patients? You don't know what dollars or percentage to invest more in if you don't know. Anyway, I'm a nerd about numbers, you don't have to be, but if you look at these numbers long enough, guys, they begin to speak to you. Will the one thing you look to change be in clinical duplication? Is it time to bring on an associate? Is your current associate making 3 to 5 times their production? If not, you are just the bank that provides a constant withdrawal without any deposits. Not a good kind of bank. What will you do to invest in your associate to move numbers in favor of your golden goose, your practice? Will the one thing you change be in capture rate, optical profits, a new system for frame inventory markup and turnover? I can go on, and in fact I will, but that's in another video. Oh, and before you go, here's a simple challenge. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one thing in your practice you've been overcomplicating for no reason? And if you're ready to stop the madness and make 2025 your best year yet, grab my free report, How to 10x Your Results. No strings attached, just real actionable strategies you can start using to measure up your business now. Comment below 10x me, Steve, and we'll get it right to you. Remember, guys, keep it health. Easy, lucrative, and fun.